The Grand Rapids Griffins are on a 3-game losing streak, while they are 6 points from clinching a playoff berth.
Welcome to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast.
Welcome back to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast. We are a podcast brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network, and we are sponsored by DraftKings. I am one of your hosts, Connor, and I am here with my brother.
Yeah, I am Kyle. We are a show brought to you by the fans, for the fans. We are season ticket members. We are not officially sponsored by the Grand Rapids Griffins. We just like to bring you guys the news as we see it on the ice.
We like to give away a bunch of free stuff too. We have a Cross Hanas giveaway at the moment. You go on our Facebook or our Twitter, you can find that in our featured sections, and you just follow us, repost it, and comment your favorite player, and there you go. You're entered.
Yeah, and don't forget to call into our show. Anybody that wants to call in and have their voice heard about opinions they have on the Grand Rapids Griffins. So then it's not one-sided. You don't just have to hear from us. Your opinion can be heard as well. And that number is 1-616-319-1175. And Connor, you said you wanted to maybe give away some hats for people that call in.
We have these hat trick hats. It's a hat with our logo on it. If you call in, we'll give you a hat and 5 entries into the Cross Hanas poster giveaway.
Yeah, so call in. We like to hear other people's opinions. We always tell you ours. So other than that, we'll kind of get into some Grand Rapids news here. EMMITT FINNIE and Anton Johansson have come over to Grand Rapids and made their debuts. Or I guess Finney made his last year, but Anton Johansson we get to see, and 4 games in now.
Yeah, so he is 4 games in. He looked really strong to start, and I think the AHL kind of hit him like a brick wall. I think he's got some adjustments to make. But I think in the long run, he looked really good those first couple of minutes being out there. I think he could be a solid contributor. I just think he needs to adapt to the different ice and everything.
Yeah, I think he's a really good skater. It looks like he's a nice-bodied, good skater, and that's kind of what we're going to need here. It's good to see that he's a hard skater. He puts the effort in. So he got burned a couple times, but he was working his butt off the whole time. So
yeah, and EMMITT FINNIE, he's a later round draft pick. So having a dude have such good success at the Kamloops Blazers, playing with some dudes like Logan Stankoven, just like some absolute studs, like a lot of really good players on that team. And he was the only good player. So he led them last year, and he did really good this year. So now we're getting him back. Really nice to see. He's looking like a diamond in the rough for a pick. Nothing, not saying he's Datsuk or nothing, but the kid's got some skill, and it's going to be nice to have him in the lineup here in Rapids.
yeah, he looked like one of those creative forwards. He's not super big, but he's quick, and he knows how to make defensemen miss and expose key spots of the defensive area. I noticed he only recorded 1 shot in his first game this season for Grand Rapids, but it looked like he was all over. So I think we're looking forward to seeing him on the ice as another creative player closer to Lombardi as far as speed and maneuverability.
So let's get into the division standings and stats. So the Grand Rapids Griffins are in 3rd place in the Central Division, the Western Conference of the AHL. They've played 63 games, 9 games remaining, 32 wins, 25 losses, 4 overtime losses, 2 shootout losses, and 70 points. So we're sitting in 3rd place in the division. And Kyle, you want to go over the rest of the division?
Yeah, so in first place, the Texas Stars leading the way at this point, really taking over here at the end of the season. They have 81 points. Milwaukee Admirals have 79 points. Grand Rapids Griffins in third with 70. Chicago Wolves with 67. The Rockford Ice Hogs in fifth with 62. The Manitoba Moose in sixth with 51. And the Iowa Wild in seventh place with 50 points. The top 5 teams will make the playoffs. So it'll be Rockford and up here. It doesn't look like Manitoba and Iowa are going to be able to catch them.
Yeah, and the way the playoffs would work, it would probably be the first team as a bye. So, like as of it stands right now, Texas Stars would be a bye round. They would get to just wait for the winners of a match between Milwaukee, who's in second place, and Rockford, who's in fifth place, and then a matchup between Grand Rapids in third place and Chicago in fourth place. And then obviously the lowest seed team would play the Stars in the second round.
We'd like to see the Grand Rapids Griffins clean things up before we get into the playoffs. So going into the AHL standings, where the Griffins are sitting at number 18, we have the Laval Rocket at number 1 with 88 points. And the Hershey Bears, number 2, with 85 points. The Colorado Eagles in third with 84 points. The Rochester Americans, 82 points. The Texas Stars with 81 points, fifth place.
So yeah, those top 5 are definitely really, really good teams, and to play any of those would be really hard. The way the Griffins are playing right now, just looking at those teams, it'd be really hard to compete with that.
Yeah,
So
and
like, we really need some reinforcements here, I believe.
yep. To make it to the later rounds of the playoffs, we're definitely going to need some assistance. Hopefully, maybe Soderblom or one of them guys can come back down. Hopefully, they can get back healthy soon. But every team from Milwaukee Admirals up here, Milwaukee Admirals in 8th place, have clinched other than Rochester Americans. Goes to show you that the Americans are in a very tight division. So we're going to go into Grand Rapids goal leaders here. First place for Grand Rapids, we have Joe Schnively with 20 goals. Tied with Sheldon Dries, who also has 20 goals. Austin Watson in third place with 16. Amadeus Lombardi in fourth place, 13 goals.
And he's played a lot less games than most of these guys.
Yeah, 35 games, 13 goals. Putting up a .77.
Opposed to
per
Joe
game.
Snively's 63. But Amadeus is really looking good down here for Grand Rapids.
Yeah, and then Nate Danielson's there at 6th place with 62 games played, 9 goals. So still getting some reasonable.
Yep, Dominic Shine obviously is falling down there.
Yeah, as he's been up on the Red Wings for a while now.
Still in the top 5 though.
So going into points, Joe Schnively leads the team by 2 at 39. Austin Watson at 37. Dominic Shine still at third with 37, tied with Austin Watson. Nate Danielson, 32 points, 4th place on the team as a rookie. Still good to see.
Yeah, pretty good. It looks like he's been having a little bit of a struggle lately, but we'll get into that later, kind of. Yeah, he definitely is kind of on pace with Casper points last
year. Yeah. And then Amadeus Lombardi in 6th place here with 27 points and 35 games. So point producer it has become. Grand Rapids goalies here. We have Sebastian Cosa leading the way with 19 wins with a save percentage of 0.913 and a goals against average of 2.38.
Then you have Billy Huso still up there. Obviously, he has been traded away with a 2.70 goals against average.
And then all the way down, we have Jack Campbell, who really has not been the answer for us as a backup goaltender this year, unfortunately. Hopefully, he can step it up, as he's going to probably get some games here at the end of the season. But 2-7-1 with the record right now, and 3.01 goals against average, and a save percentage of 0.882. Jan Bednar coming up for a couple games. He's played respectable, but kind of got shredded against the Texas Stars and their strong offensive performance.
Yeah, he came up. He played really good for Kosa. He replaced Kosa for the game. Kosa got pulled, and he looked really good that game. So they gave him a shot to start against Texas Stars, which is the hottest team in our division, and he got kind of torched.
So for the AHL point leaders, we still have Andrew Poltorowski on top with now 73 points as he just continues to rise the numbers. We have Matic Blumel, who continues to put points up at 64 points. Seth Griffith has 62 points for Bakersfield Condors. Chris Terry for Bridgeport Islanders, former Griffin, has 59 points. Matthew Pekka for Springfield has 58 points. Going to the goals for the AHL, Metic Blumel is starting to take away from the pack here. He has 37 goals. Alex
Steves. So Alex Steves has 34 goals. Andrew Podolowski has 30 goals, tied with John Leonard with 30. And then in fifth place, Matthew Pekka with 28.
That should wrap us up for the division standings and league leading stats. We can get into our hot and cold segment.
So in this segment, hot and cold, we like to pick one player who is fiery hot and one player who is icy cold. And we like to use a random number generator and generate a random number, and then we match that until we get a match with the Griffins jersey number, and then we talk about that player and rate them where we think they are on a scale of hot to cold.
So for hot today, Joe Snively has made his way to the top of the list, leads the team in goals, points, and games played this season, becoming a leader. So in 63 games played, he has 20 goals for 19 assists, 39 points. He is -5, but the time on the ice, especially as of late, and when the Griffins aren't outscoring their opponents very much anymore, Joe Snively has been the number one guy.
Yeah, he leads the team in goals and is tied with points with Sheldon Dries, and he's played more games than anyone else on the team all season. Seems like every time we enter the zone, it's Joe Snively, Joe Snively, Joe Snively. All the other veterans got called up except for Dries, and he's really standing out right now. So he's definitely hot. He's played 63 games.
He really could have been hot all season, if you really ask me. He's doing what he did for Hershey Bears last year, being one of the top point contributors. And in this case, he's leading this struggling Griffins team, taking the team on his shoulders and doing it. So Joe Snively here, as of late, has just been called upon and is doing what he needs to do. Unfortunately, the Griffins are struggling. So for cold,
So we're gonna have Emil Viro on cold. So Emil Viro has been -7 in his last 7 games, 0 points in his last 7 games also. He's played 56 games. He's got 1 goal with 4 assists, so 5 points for 56 games. That's not much offensive production, and he's got a -15. Apparently, we were talking to Brad from Undrafted Hockey Fan. He thought he was a defensive player, drafted as a defensive player. We said after watching him, he kind of looks like an offensive player. But at this point, it's like he's not getting the actual points. He makes some really good moves at points in the offensive zone, gets some cool turnovers, but it never actually really amounts to anything. And hence the 5 points.
yeah, and it's his physical performance on the ice. I still think he's kind of an undersized defenseman. He has actually had some good hits, but most of the time he's just not physical enough when it matters, and it leads to goals for the other team. I'd like to see him turn it up, but it just seems like his time is almost getting slim here in Grand Rapids, as this was the year he was kind of supposed to take off and be more someone that they could lean on. But with the addition of Nyzoff and now Anton Johansson, it looks like he might be the guy that sits out more nights than not.
Yeah, hopefully he can start getting some offensive production or solidify his defensive game. Yeah, so let's do a random number.
Number 8.
I boo him. Well, I gotta say, he came in. He looked really good for a long time, and it seems like he's now starting to be forced to play a lot more offense, and that's making his solid defense suffer big time. What would you say?
Yeah, I think Watson and the rest of the team are like, hey, man, you got a 6 shot. You should be using that shot more. And I think they're calling upon him to put pucks on net, especially after he hasn't scored for 50 games or so. Now he has 2 goals, but we're seeing that plus minus suffer a little bit. So I think there is definitely a little bit of trade off in his offensive game for his defensive game.
Yeah, because at the beginning of the year, he looked very solid defensively, as and not very offensive at all. Now he's getting a little more offensive. He's good at both, but I feel like if he can master being able to do both at the same time, then he could be really good look for the Red Wings in the future.
Yeah, and he by no means is he having a bad season. He's still exceeding expectations, in my opinion. So I think Shai Boom is still warm. I don't think he's hot anymore, but I think he's still warm. And with this added ice time that he's getting and the power plays, he's getting all the opportunities to flourish in what he wants to become. So I think we're going to see a better Shai Boom more we move on.
I agree.
Moving on here, we're going to get into some DraftKings ads, and then we will hit you with a State of the Griffins segment.
This NHL season has been predictable as a puck rolling on its edge. No one knows where it's going. That just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out, and games left for you to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. And if you are new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sports app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-97777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort and Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. NHL and NHL team marks are the property of the NHL and its teams. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here to bring you a State of the Griffins section.
So in the State of the Griffins section, we're just kind of going over the general status of the players that are succeeding, struggling, doing okay. And we want to cover some of the future players coming in and the coaching staff a little bit. For the players succeeding, you see it. They're the players that contribute. They're the players that put up on the scoreboard regularly. And they're the players that are exceeding expectations from what you thought they were at the beginning of the season. So in that category, we have Amadeus Lombardi, Sheldon Dries, Joe Shively, Ante Tuomisto, Shai Boom, Josiah Didier, Andre Becker, and Gabriel Seeger.
You got to go with Tuomisto. He's been really solid on defense. Probably one of our best guys all year. Andre Becker, him being a first-year guy coming in. I mean, he's playing on the top 6 almost every night now. He's looking really good. Then Lombardi, Amadeus Lombardi has definitely proved he's a leader here, and he's got to be like the best dude on this team almost, at least with puck skill and speed, and he's got a really good shot on net ratio. So
Yeah, and I want to talk about Gabriel Seeger a little bit there, just because he is a rookie coming in this season, and he's put up 8 goals, and that's, in my opinion, for the amount of ice time he's been out there for. I think he's got 40 shots, and he's got 8 goals. So maybe there's a sprinkle of luck in there, but Gabriel Siegler's been putting them in the net, and that has been great to see. A couple first-year guys have been working out for us, and then Jai Boom as well, with more than 20 assists now and finally finding the net. Really good to see him and watch his development. So, yeah, players on the succeeding category, we got nothing to worry about. So there's some players that are struggling, been on the drought. We got Tim Gettinger, who hasn't scored in more than 10 games. We got Vero, who hasn't put a point up in more than 7. William Verlander, Red Wings fans aren't going to want to hear this, but it's been just a bit of a struggle for the whole season. I think he's getting better as of late. I think he's starting to actually play the role that we were thinking he was going to play. A little bit of that first line pairing with a lot of ice time.
Yeah, they tend to be able to sneak around him pretty good. He just seems to be out there for a lot of the goals get scored. You always see Wallander's number right there. It's
And that comes with the ice time, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, you want to see more of him breaking that play up. Justin Hall got just called soft by PK Subban. So I think Verlander needs to step it up and not be so soft before he gets that comparison too.
Yeah, I mean, and then he has had moments where he comes in offensively and looks really good, but I haven't ever seen anything spectacular. I mean, we were almost thinking, hey, maybe he could come in and be like a. He's not looking like it. He just needs to polish his game up in both directions, and he's not that guy that's really going to help Detroit succeed at this moment in time. He's just really not.
He's a great skater. Actually, like one of the better skaters on the Griffins, but yeah, I want to see that type of defensive play that we see from Tuomisto, where he's breaking the play up and we're not having goals as a result. So
Jack Campbell's had some struggles. I mean, he doesn't have much defense in front of him right now, but still, it's like he's let some really soft goals in. I think the whole goalies have been struggling as of late.
yeah, I agree. And I think that's a lot to do with the defensive additions and just, being familiar with who's out there on your team in front of you. So there's just been a lot of shifting around and a lot of chaos between the Red Wings and the Griffins. So
let's get to the reasonables.
yeah, Nate Danielson and Sebastian Cossa being on this list. So we talked about it for a minute on whether they should be on the succeeding list or the reasonable list, but go ahead and get into Nate Danielson and why we ended up putting him on reasonable.
So I just think as of late, he's really struggled and seems really introverted. I'd like to see him get a little more extroverted and like enjoy being down here in Grand Rapids more. It almost seems like he's mad he's not down up in Detroit. But it's like you gotta do really good here before you move up, man.
Yeah, I think Danielson has struggled a little bit as of late. I mean, that game against Texas, pucks were bouncing right off his stick in the wrong direction. It's irritating. I mean, if I'm irritated watching it, I can't imagine how he feels on the ice when it happens. So, yeah, just some bad bounces going his way as of late. And overall, he's put together a really good season. And he's kind of been up and down, and he's been on the same pace as Marco Casper. Marco Casper had 35 points last season. Nate Danielson has 32 right now. So he could get more points than Casper still. I think we've just seen a more steady player all the way down the stretch. I think Casper's development exploded in the second half of the season last year, and people were shocked and when he started to play the way he did. So Sebastian Cossa.
Yeah, so I gotta say Kosa, he started the year out really good, really solid. He's still doing pretty good, but he's really been letting in a lot of soft goals, and I think it's like same thing with Jack Campbell. I think the defense, without the good defense in front of him, he has to make more saves, and I think it's been getting in his head a little bit. He did just get called up to the Detroit Red Wings, which they did not start him because I think they see what's going on too. He's definitely not in the top of his game right now as we speak. We want to see him correct this before the playoffs because he's our key to getting deep into the playoffs. If you have a goalie who can steal games, that's just ideal. He's a
Yeah.
first round pick, so
And for the Griffins here, it seems like every single goalie we have played against for the month of February and March has just been solid, untouchable as far as getting the puck through. And I would like that back on our side, where our goalie is untouchable and seems like they can't get the puck through.
So Cross Hanas, he's been one of our favorites since we started this podcast. He's been here for multiple years now, and he has a really killer shot. I just feel like he hasn't gotten the ice time as much as he should have, and I also feel when he is on the top line, he hasn't quite broken through like I feel like he should have. I feel like he should be a little more of a leader out there. It's like his time's running out, his contract's ending. He's here. He didn't get traded at the deadline.
Yeah, and he's in that same boat as Tuomisto, Vero, and Valinder. You know, they're all wondering if they're gonna get their chance on the Red Wings, and if they don't start performing, it's not gonna happen. For Hanas, he's got 9 goals, which matches his rookie season here in Grand Rapids. We'd really like to see him step up and break through and get a couple more before the end of the season here to show us that he's still got that high quality offensive performance.
Yeah, then we got Rafferty and Johannes and Doucette, I'll talk about. I mean, he got some first line time. He struggled a little bit, but I feel he's gotten a lot of experience this year, and I feel like next season, I think he'll start to pop off a little bit. I really do.
Yeah, I think he's finding the groove this year. Next year is going to be the year he finds what actually puts the puck in the net and gets point production.
Yeah, so we can move on to the future players.
Yeah, so we got Anton Johansson and EMMITT FINNIE coming in. I think a lot of our problems could be solved with the addition of Axel Sandin Pellikka and Michael Branson Nygaard.
2 first-round picks.
2 first-round picks, and they're both playing on the same team over in Skellefteå. You'd love to see them both end up in GR by the end of the season. I think with the Red Wings not making the playoff push as they thought they would, Pellikka could finish with a couple games for the Red Wings and end up down here for the playoffs. Now, how much that ice time they get is completely up to the coach, and I think Yzerman will be pushing for them to be on the ice, but who knows what will happen. They could really assist with the point production for Grand Rapids.
Yeah, Michael Branson Nygaard, we were watching. He's aggressive.
Yeah,
He's an aggressive forward. We don't have that really.
He fights for the puck. He's winning the 50-50 battles, it looks like. And yeah, he's not afraid to shove a guy around, it looks like. So that was good to see. And Trey Augustine for Michigan State having another really good season. Continuing to look like a number 1 prospect goalie for any team, but somehow still sitting behind Sebastian Kosa.
Yeah, so I'm hoping we get him too. He'd really help light a fire under Kosa. I feel like he'd come in and Kosa would light a fire under him. And then that would open it up for Kosa to go right up to Detroit when he get the times ready, and it'll be a smooth goalie transition. You got some other dudes in the pipeline too that are good goalies.
Yeah, like Rudy Guyman, and we just drafted Landon Miller this year. Yeah, there's definitely some options, and then as far as other players in the pipeline that are forwards too, I mean, we got Max Plant, who's absolutely tearing it up in the NCAA from Minnesota Duluth, and Jesse Kiskinen is having a great season. These guys might not make it this year, maybe next year or the year after. Still, they're putting on a show for us and getting our hopes up that they could become Griffins and possibly Red Wings someday.
So let's get on to our coaching staff. So head coach Dan Watson came here, turned the culture on completely, but things are starting to slide a little bit. I know it has to do with the talent. A lot of the talent and all the veteran guys have gone up to Detroit, so you can't really blame them. But I think it'd be cool to see him coach some of these younger guys, like he's been coaching Becker, into playing really good. Like Seager, Becker, all these young guys have done good. Johannes has stepped up. It's just been a fun time. So if we can insert some new talent in, I feel like Dan Watson can get them going.
I agree with that. And Todd McClellan comes in. It's again another change of culture. but this time it's from up top. So, I mean, he obviously looks at the Griffins. He says, who's our top point producers down there? Oh, you got Dominic Shine? Bring him up. He fights? Sweet, let's go. We lost Watson, Soderblom, all these guys that were putting numbers up for Grand Rapids are now absent. So the next man up. And it's Dan Watson's job to coach them and bring them to a position where the Grand Rapids Griffins are winning games every night. Unfortunately, it takes a minute to figure that all out. So the faster Dan Watson can get this done, which I'm sure he's gonna, great coach. And I think all the guys are on board with his system. I think it's going to happen before the end of the season here. We got 9 games left to really wrap it up and get back in gear. So,
especially if we get reinforcements.
Yeah. And Steph Julian on offense, or the offensive coordinator basically for our team.
Yeah, he does our power play and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know how impressed I am anymore by the power play for sure. It's just 100% lacking this season.
And last season.
And last season in the playoffs was just not, it just didn't work out for us. So I
would be honestly pretty shocked if he was back here next year. I think that the Griffins are going to look elsewhere for someone who can get this power play scoring. Because, at points we had Mazer, Danielson, and Lombardi. I mean, you got to be able to get dudes like that to score. I mean, 5-on-5 hockey, he's done great. But, on the power play, there's just been lacking completely.
Yeah,
and that's a huge part of hockey.
Yeah, and I don't know why it is, but whenever we're on the power play, we're giving up huge scoring chances. So something needs to change. So Brian Lashoff in charge of the penalty kill and does a lot of the defensive coaching. So I think I've been rather impressed with Brian Lashoff, especially in the first half of the season with the defensemen that we have. We weren't 100% sure about with Tuamisto, Shaibuam, and Volinder moving forward on how well they'd perform. And I think he's made the most of them. Still looking to see more out of them and let their development continue. It seems like they have kind of hit a ceiling right now. But we're looking for Brian Lashoff to coach them right out of that. But I don't think his job is in danger at all.
And then we got Rupe Kosonen for the goaltenders. So, beginning of the year, we had Billy Huso and Kosa, and everything was going good. It was phenomenal. Then you got the third goalie, Jack Campbell, in the mix, and then it kind of took ice time from dudes, and I think it made Kosa get cold. I think it made everyone get cold because Billy Huso was starting all these games, and so that's why we traded him away with the goaltenders, and I hope we can get that together because we've been getting a lot of goals scored on us lately.
I agree. And mainly number one is Kosa. This late in the season, he gets his first benching, and you don't like to see that for sure. You just want your top number one prospect to be playing their best at this point of the year. So, what do we got to do about it? A little bit of an assessment here of our strengths, our weaknesses, and our future needs. I think the strengths of this team, we have a lot of playmakers. We're looking at players that just want to pass the puck everywhere. They want to put it on the tape, and that's great, but eventually someone's got to shoot the puck.
Yeah, we need a lot more people. We need a lot more scoring ability, and I think we need some more offense. Yeah, we need a little more shooting. So I think we're really good at entering the zone. We come in the zone, we get set up decently. Like I said, we just can't capitalize and pull the trigger when we need to. A lot of passing.
I thought our zone entry was like a lot stronger with Soderblom. I think they fed him the puck to get the puck into the zone a lot. So I think we've been a little bit less impressive with that as late, but I think players like Becker and Danielson are starting to figure that out. So,
and overall, I think our goalies are good goalies. And if we get the addition of Trey Augustine, that'll actually help relieve a little bit. I think someone that will challenge Kosa. That's a whole different dynamic.
Yeah, I agree with that. Another strength for the Griffins has been blocked shots. I feel like the team has been pretty good about playing for the team, bit willing to give themselves up and do what it takes. We just haven't seen the results of it late, and that's why it's been so frustrating. So, and then the penalty kill, again, with the loss of Dominic Shine, we've seen a little bit of a decrease in this, but still I think our penalty kill and what Brian Lashoff has done with it has been great. for the most part, we are still solid killing penalties.
Yeah, so let's move on to our weaknesses. So obviously we talked about finishing being our biggest weakness probably. We can't really score. We get a lot of entries, we got a lot of passing. We just can't finish.
Yeah, and it seems like as of late, we got the puck scrambling in front of the net, but no one can put it in. So looking forward to maybe the addition of Sandin Pellikka, as he is a big time goal scoring defenseman, and Michael Bransignigaard as his shot looks better than Hanas's.
Yeah, so getting on to defense also, I mean, we need a defender too. Talking about Axel Sandin Pellikka. We have had a lot of defensive struggles. You know, we lost Simon Evanson, who's like a top 2 defense for our team. He was a number 1 guy for us, and he held the fort down for 2 years. It was really fun having him while we had him. Now he's gone, and you got dudes like William Wander and Vero who are trying to step in that role, but they're just not talented as Simon Evanson will, unless something changes quick.
Yeah, and I think Linder and Bureau. Now it's the addition of Nizov, and now we got the rookies coming in with Anton Johansson. So it's just been wild and defensive, and it confuses the goalies. And we already talked about the goalie rotation and how that really affects everything. But it starts from the defense, I think, and that's where a lot of the problems on this team they're getting worn out. It's the end of the season. They're young guys, and they've been put through the whirlwind all season. And it seems like the last month, games have started to go to shootouts and just grind down to the very end. And yeah, I think our defensemen are starting to get worn down.
Yep, and then like you said, goalie rotation. We've just had a lot of, I just kind of talked about that. We really have had a lot of dudes sitting and getting cold. And now we got like Kosa and Campbell going full bore. Like I said, it'd be probably good to introduce Ray Augustine.
Yeah, and we can't forget about Geilander, as he's just been down in the ECHL doing his thing. So
I mean,
he started the season up here as well.
even if Augustine went to the Walleye, that'd be
Yeah, keep him playing games for sure, and under the Red Wing system.
so. The power play, obviously, we've talked about really bad.
It's lacking.
Like they score on us almost more than we score on them. They have a power play when we get a power play. Just really bad. Probably our biggest weakness out of all of them.
So future needs. So maybe to kind of clean some of the stuff up as we go forward in the future, because if this is how we are ending the season, I think it's time to take some notes. And obviously this matters for the Red Wings as well here on who we draft and who we're looking for. But I think going forward, we need another top 2 defenseman, someone who can play with the likes of Sider and Edmondson, someone who might spend another year or 2 in Grand Rapids to get to that point, someone who's going to be here for both teams. And
yeah, if I was Eiserman, I'd be taking my first round pick. I'd be getting a defenseman, the biggest defenseman, the biggest skilled defenseman you can get. Someone who can grind, a fighter, someone with a more brutal personality.
And we know that Eiserman knows how to find those, so we'll let him do the work there. We're actually going to need a big-time scoring threat, someone who knows how to put the puck in the net, someone who has a really good shot, someone who can snipe, someone that is creative. And we got a lot of smaller forwards like Alex DeBrincat and Amadeus Lombardi and Jonathan Berggren, and Marco Casper's even small. So we got a lot of smaller forwards, and then our bigger, like Soderblom and Rasmussen, they're not exactly the most physical of big guys. We could definitely use a grinder and a power forward to help us along the way here.
Yeah, I'm sick of having all these small dudes who can pass. We need to start getting some big dudes who can score or fight.
Get someone in front of the net. And Carter Mazer was really good in front of the net. It was really fun to watch him, but he's out for the season. And if he is not going to be on the Griffins for long, we're going to have to find another grinder, another Tyler Bertuzzi, another scrapper, someone who can get in front of the net and make it happen.
This can change really soon by the end of the season. Once we get reinforcements, the views can change. We're just hoping that we have a nice, solid team to compete for the Calder Cup, because as of right now, it's kind of looking like we'll be like a first round, second round exit.
Yeah, if we were a second round exit last year against the Milwaukee Admirals, so I thought we were a better team last year.
Like we said, we'd be playing the Wolves in the first round.
Which I think we have a solid chance against the Wolves, but they have been turning it up as the season goes on, and we have been falling off as the season goes on. So that's got to turn around. But we can go ahead and get into the penalty box after some quick ads.
So in this segment, hockey, it's our one chance to step out of hockey, and we like to end the episode on a fun note. So we throw someone into the box for a 2-minute minor, 4-minute double minor, 5-minute major, or a game misconduct. Kyle, who are you throwing into the penalty box?
So unfortunately, this one's going to be the Grand Rapids Griffins horn, the "Go Griffins" chant that everyone, the dun 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 dun. It's slow sometimes. It's off. If you go to the Red Wings, it's faster. It's like, let's go Red Wings, and it's consistent. It's always right. When you're trying to cheer for your team when they're down 4 goals and the horn isn't even working right, it's just the Griffins can't even get their cheers. Like the fans are trying to cheer them on and they can't even do it right. So it just makes them kind of feel bad too. So I think it's been this way for 3 years. The horn hasn't been figured out.
Yeah, it's getting kind of old. Like, get it together. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go, Griffins. Not that hard.
Not that hard. Griff did it on the bucket last year. He went down with a bucket and did it for the playoffs, and it was so much better.
Yeah, I say you get 3 strikes. You mess up the horn 3 times, you're out. We get someone else.
So I believe this is the second time we've put you in the box here, so a 4-minute double minor for you. Let's figure that horn out so our fans can cheer in sync.
So who I got for the penalty box, I'm going to throw Kanye West into the penalty box. The dude claims he says, "I am a Nazi." Paints this huge swastika on the side of his house. And someone comes and tries to cover it up and spray paint it, and he gets him arrested for vandalism. Just ridiculous, man. How are you a Nazi? I don't know if the Nazis would necessarily accept you into their cult.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah, I just think, this dude is, I don't know. It's messed up. I think the dude needs to, look at his culture and, really, stand up for who he actually is.
Got the platform.
You have a platform and you're going to preach Nazis.
It's wild.
Absolutely.
It's going around, for sure. It's crazy, but...
Have one on the box.
How long you putting them in for?
That's a game misconduct.
Yeah, we don't hate. Moving on here as we go forward, the Grand Rapids Griffins will be playing the Chicago Wolves Wednesday and the Rockford Ice Hogs on Friday. Friday will be the equipment sale.
There will be stuff left over if you go there.
Yeah, there's
throughout the game.
Practice jerseys and all
the really good stuff. You have to really be a season ticket member to get, it seems like. Yeah, in Rockford, when we play them, we play at home on Friday, and then we travel to their house on Saturday. So it's a 2-game match with them.
Yeah,
for the rest
season's
of the month.
Coming to an end with 9 games remaining. It's going to tie up quick here.
Go Griffins. Let's get these 6 points, and let's get in the playoffs, and let's maybe play Chicago or the Ice Hogs. Let's roast them again. Do this. Go Griffins.
Go Griffins.
Thank you for listening to the Griffins Pipeline podcast. If you enjoyed the show, give us a 5-star review. We are part of the Hockey Podcast Network. We are not partnered with the Grand Rapids Griffins, Detroit Red Wings, or Toledo Walleye. We are not experts. We are just die-hard fans looking to make a community with others alike. Let's go Griffins Nation. Join the fun, like, and follow us on Facebook and X, or call into the show and have your opinion heard 1-616-319-1175. Thank you. Grand Rapids Griffins, Toledo Walleye, and Detroit Red Wings. Players, coaches, websites, and social media. Thank you AHL.com, NHL.com, ETL.com, EliteProspects.com, and anyone else putting out information on the teams. Until next time, go Griffins. Go Red Wings, go Walleye.